Good evening and welcome to the Valley's premier arts and entertainment program. It's called Eye on the Desert. I'm your host, Patrick Evans, and tonight I've got a bourbon sommelier, a friend of mine, Tom Fischer, in the house to tell us about a whiskey tasting event that is happening in about 15 minutes, but then also again tomorrow night, focusing more on rye.
Right, that's right. They can run over right now to Ace Hotel if they want. We'll be there for a while, but tomorrow night, Wednesday night, we're doing all rye. So tonight on Wednesday, it's bourbon night. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, it's rye night, and all these fine ryes we're going to pour for you from the Whistle Pig Farm Stock, the newest farm stock. This one is aged and used red wine barrels in California. Very special Peerless from Kentucky, which is just incredible. A very special bottle I brought. And this is a blend of bourbon and rye for the Jefferson's collaboration. Then we're going to end it off with a little bourbon cream from North Carolina.
So bourbons and ryes obviously are in sort of the same family,
right,
but they're really kind of siblings.
That's right.
Why don't you explain a little bit about the differences between the two?
Sure. And I'm glad you asked. So both very important classifications for American whiskey. At least 51% corn as a bourbon, at least 51% rye as a rye. And there's some other clarifications we'll make when the great folks come to the tastings. But they can taste similar, but there are definite differences. And even within the rye category, you'll have some ryes that are spicy. This one's going to do some great things with the wine barrel notes. And some that have some earth and fruit and just all sorts of beautiful notes.
A lot of people are under the mistaken impression that in order to be called a bourbon, it has to be distilled in Kentucky. That is not correct. It can be. You can make a bourbon pretty much anywhere as long as it's 51% corn.
Exactly.
It can't be flavored
New
or
charred
filtered.
oak barrel. Can't add anything to it except water once you put it in there. It can be made anywhere in the U.S. And there's some great bourbons being made in California. You know, I love getting back here. I especially like coming back and seeing you and hanging out in Palm Springs.
Well, as you know, I enjoy a whiskey from time to time, and you have expanded my horizons a little bit. I was kind of a one-track bourbon drinker. I like Jack, which actually technically isn't a bourbon. I know it's just a Tennessee whiskey.
Right.
But one of the nice things about the bourbon tastings that you do, whether you are a real aficionado of these kinds of whiskeys, or whether you're just sort of dabbling and enjoy them, you have a little something for everybody, and you really kind of open up the world of whiskeys for folks.
I try to always bring something new. You know, we do these at great establishments all across the country. We love coming back to Ace Hotel. And I also do conferences, businesses, parties. House parties are becoming a bigger and bigger thing. I've done some house parties in California.
There's so many of these micro distilleries now that have popped up that are making some really interesting and really good whiskeys out there.
Yes, there's thousands now. You know, for a while there wasn't, but after Prohibition, that killed the distilling business. But they're coming back even in California. So even down the road in Palm Springs, I hear.
I just had something, and I have to talk about it with you.
Yeah.
It was called Western, and it was a whiskey that is made in Oregon.
Yes,
It had kind
great
of chocolate
stuff.
overnights. Yeah, it was really good.
So there's an array of things for the palate, and the reason why we like to lay all these out on a table, Patrick, and have them taste them back to back is, you know, it's one thing to have one whiskey today and one tomorrow, but when we do this Why Whiskey educational series, we're able to take our time with each one and try them side by side to see what people really love. And you know, doing a bourbon night and a rye night is really something special.
So if you are particularly a bourbon fan, tonight is the night you might want to head on over. There are a couple of slots left. It's at the Ace Hotel in the Amigo room, which is kind of the upstairs room.
Right.
It's a terrific venue. It's $30 per night or $50 for both nights, so you can do that. You go to acehotel.com. They've got information there. Again, it starts in a few minutes. Tom's going to be running about 2 minutes late because he's going to race over from here. But tonight, bourbon night. Tomorrow night, rye night. And there are some openings for tomorrow night as well.
Yeah.
Come on out. And if you don't know a lot about rye, I think tomorrow night's going to be really
It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, go to acehotel.com, or our website is whywhiskey.com, like asking the question why, and then whiskey.com. Find those tickets, you know, and I just love meeting people here and trying some good whiskey. It's a good time of year for whiskey.
And you do bourbon blogs.
Bourbonblog.com is my website that I founded about 15 years ago. It's was the first ever blog on bourbon, and we've just watched the story of whiskey grow.
Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me back. It's so great to be back here.
He leaves all these here, too.